The 39 Steps is a production about... well, I don't exactly know what it is about really, what with being crammed as far away from the stage as possible, praying to God that the podium didn't collapse. I get that there was a murder in it, and British Twat A subcategory 9 has to run away after being wrongly accused of committing it. I wouldn't blame him if he actually did commit the murder, mind. That woman with the hilariously comical German accent was like rubbing my ears on a cheese grater. At least you could grasp a general gist of what all the other characters were actually saying, whereas she was meant to kick the whole story off, and it was still a mystery to me whether she was actually meant to sound so rich in accent or whether she was just really drunk. So he travels across the country and gets into a few scarpers with police. You know, generic wrong accusation plot development number 9. And then meets this professor guy who's also German, so, ooh, shocker. He's evil and reveals that the 39 Steps is... something about stealing British airplanes. I guess. Again, I couldn't really tell. Can't remember why it is exactly 39, but who the fuck cares when you've got such thick, comical accents? I suppose what the play really wants you to do is write about its technical side more than its narrative side, because I've looked over the plot synopsis for the actual book and film and it's a lot more detailed. So fine, I will. I must admit it's certainly skillful how the entire thing only has 4 actors who can get changed incredibly fast every scene, so that's commendable. And yes, I suppose I did laugh a bit at the scenes where they had shadow puppets to make what most people call unstageable parts, so it's good. I can't understand why they couldn't have just hired more people, but it was a clever job, I'll give it that. But then, there's the biggest problem I personally had with this production. I went into the theatre expecting 2 or 3 laughs, tops, and that's what I got. It's just a bit of a shame that every one of them were in the first 20 minutes and nowhere else. The whole sense of humour in this thing either involves breaking the 4th wall or relying on cultural stereotypes. Or yes, we're so fucking self-referentially ironic that if we rolled our eyes any harder, they'd fall down our sockets and roll about in our skulls like slots in a defective gambling machine. Alright, we get that it's funny 39 Steps, perhaps we could move on now? No? We need to please all the morons in the audience by doing Scottish accents as well? Or you've also decided to carry on with the German accents with a new tag-along character, lest we forget how much she dedicated to the plot. I think they had the basic idea of the story on paper but decided to cut out most of it because either A, there wasn't enough actors, or B, they were all parts that they couldn't fit some form of forced comedy into. That isn't to say I'm against funny adaptations, just so long as they're actually funny. But when you beat the same technique of an animal to death and just serve the rotten flesh and body parts to the audience, it's a pretty well known fact they're going to get sick. And what did you even need that German side character for anyway? You don't need more complaints than you've already got in play, so there's no reason to even have the person there unless it's a see how long you can go without indulging in Chainsaw Massacre fantasies test, which in retrospect I totally would have seen. I'm assuming she was also part of the original story, where she did more than get really bitchy, which will probably be the same answer I'll get from the drama teacher. And you know, that's understandable, but that still doesn't make her a really weak callback to an original that was probably 10 times better than this, and not written and directed by the rear end of a horse. So no, I can't really recommend the 39 Steps into Insanity unless you're just looking for technical value, because that's pretty much all it has. When you remove something from an original for an adaptation, it's pretty much common sense to throw in something else instead. Oh well, better luck next time. Maybe in your next production we can look forward to 40 Steps, in which the hero is a gazelle who was chased for an hour and a half by an angry honey badger. It'd probably be more enjoyable than this anyway.